Do you feel like changing habits is a big project? The next book we are talking about at Jefferson County Library's book club is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Tiny changes, remarkable results, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. And I would say this entire book summed up is about tiny habits and how to make changing habits a smaller undertaking than we make it out to be in our heads. Basically, the title of this book could be Small Habits because the word atomic means small things. Coincidentally, this book is fitting in really well in between last month's book, Anxious Generation, and next month's book, Outlive, because I have found so much in this book applicable to how I would want to change the habits of my cell phone use, or how I would want to build a good habit of exercise or better nutrition as is prescribed in the book Outlive. And the main assertion of this book is that if you just focus on changing your habits by 1%, this compounds over time. A quote from the book is that time magnifies the margin between success and failure. Basically, we sometimes get bogged down with needing our changes to be big and noticeable and immediate, when change is much more about doing small things right consistently over time. By doing these small changes over time, you compound almost like you're saving up money. You're saving up good habits that compound and all of a sudden will shoot you over your plateau of latent potential. That really made sense to me in that often I have started to try and build a new habit and I almost start out with too much ambition and expecting the results to be more immediate than they are. But even if you expect the results to take time, sometimes trying to build a new habit, if you're doing so too ambitiously, you wear yourself out. And this book is really about pacing yourself, pacing your change, pacing your new habits. I also really liked the part in the book that said, forget about goals, focus on the system, because setting the goal will not define whether you are successful or you fail, because the goal can be set by people who fail to meet the goal or successfully meet the goal. It's all about the system to get to the goal. And this whole book is about how you set up your system to reach a goal, not setting goals. At one point in the book, the author, James Clear, even says goals in many ways can ruin your happiness because they don't necessarily always turn out the way you exactly meant for them to. They also, being too focused on your goal, will have you spending so much time building your habits almost in misery. I also had a quote a while ago from, I think it was Mike Rowe, that said, happiness is a horrible goal, but an excellent byproduct, meaning that happiness is something you can't necessarily focus on trying to get to because then you don't get to it. The book also mentioned that the best habits you'll stick to are ones that fulfill your identity and how you think of yourself. Changing habits should be more about building up your own image in little ways, not thinking in terms of this is who I want to be in the end, but how do you think of yourself as a whole person? I overall didn't feel like the book had any large aha moments for me where this wasn't new information per se. Then as I moved on to next month's book, I all of a sudden was hearkening back to this book thinking, oh, that's how I would build that habit if that's the habit I want to start. I did think the only negative with this book is it really talks about being thoughtful about your own habits that you currently have, or being thoughtful and having a lot of self-awareness about your life right now. And that can be exhausting because I think people right now have a lot of limited bandwidth. I know most days I'm working through my day as fast as I can with as little thought as I can. To really think about in a more mindful way how you lead your life can be very exhausting. But the book does mention, do not set too many goals. Do not bog yourself down with too many different directions you want to go. Really prioritize who you want to be and then go about setting atomic habits throughout your life that move towards that goal. And I will see you next month for book club. Please come and let me know what you think of this book.